Blog Talk Radio.
Check out the full episode of this on Mentellect Patreon.
In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust, as the Mesoamerican community, the real American community is gathering in this day and time, right? The Mesoamerican community from Mesoamerican Radio. Good evening. I'm your host, the intellectual Musa Menkares, and this is Mesoamerican Radio. And tonight we're going to be discussing real American women. Who are the real American women? Well, from that picture up there, you can pretty much see what the real American women are. The real American women, by nationality, by race, by whatever you want to call it, right, are falsely being called African American women, black women, Negro women, whatever you want to call it. That's the real American women. So whenever you bronze women out there, you so-called black women out there, because I know a lot of you, that's a big stigma amongst so-called black people. That's a very big stigma. You know, to be told that you're African American or that you're African, period, is a big stigma because you really have no culture to attach to. You really have no culture to attach to. This is why the so-called black woman, she tries to attach to everybody else's culture. Notice the so-called black men and black women, they attach to everybody else's culture because you don't have any culture of your own. You don't have any culture of your own. So you go and you worship Asian culture, Chinese culture, Asian, you worship Italian, European culture, you worship all these different cultures. Some of you niggas even worship African culture, which I don't know why the hell you do that. But you worship all these different cultures, and you have nothing to do with any of them. You worship all these different cultures, and you have nothing to do with any of them. Yeah, but you secretly worship, a lot of you worship Native American culture. You worship Native American, what you call American Indian culture, which is no such thing as no American Indian. The only Indians are those dot heads over there in India. That's the only Indians. There are no so-called Indians in America. It's, you know, those dot heads in India and the Hindus, those are the only Indians. Okay? Those are the only Indians. Now, a lot of these Mongoloids who came over here, they was mixed with those kind of Indians and Asian. They was mixing with them. So, yeah, I guess you could call them Indians, but they're more like Asians, like Chinese Asians, Mongoloid Asians. That's who came over here and mixed in with our people to create your so-called Native American Indians. So there really is no such thing as no Native American Indians. There's no such thing. There's Mesoamericans. There's people who are ancient Americans who've been here. And the ancient Americans are falsely being called African American. The Mesoamericans are falsely being called African American, Negro, colored, black, whatever the hell you want to call them. Who are the real Native American women? So-called black women are. You so-called black women, stop calling yourself black women. You're not black. You're not African American. You are American American. You're the only American women here from your descendancy that's linked to Mesoamerican women, from your Mesoamerican link. You are American women. No, they're celebrating black girls like again. That's really American women rock. You are American women. What makes them Native American? Because you are descended from the ancient Mesoamerican women of this land, which was all over the continent of America. You black women are descended from the ancient. You so-called black women are descended from the ancient Mesoamerican women that were all over this land. Okay, that's what makes you American today. Because Mesoamerican really means Middle American. That's from the word middle, but Mesoamerican really is ancient American. What are African? Are they African? No, we're not African. The so-called black women are not African. Those of you born in America are not African. You're not of African descent. Okay, you did not descend from Africa. Okay, are all females living in America American? No, they are not. America is not a melting pot. America has a nationality. It has a nationality of people, a race of people, a real national race of people. And that is the people who are falsely being called African Americans. You see, the people who are falsely being called black are the real Native Americans. They are the real cultural Americans. They are the real racial Americans. They are native to this country. We are native to this country. Y'all have to learn that. Understand, America, the word comes from us. It does not come from the white man. Stop associating white and America together. You're associating Caucasian and America together. Get your mind out there. These people are European, man. These people are European. They're not American. Those Mongoloid Indians, they're Asians. They're not no Native American Indians. There's no such thing as a Native American Indian. What does this mean to the future woman of America? That y'all are being called black, and that you need to stop that you're being called African American, and you need to stop feeding into that lie. For yourselves, if not for no one else. And that's it. Next time somebody asks you what you are, you American. That goes out to you so-called black women. That's it. For the complete broadcast, you're gonna have to go to Mentellect Patreon. Go to Mentellect Patreon for this complete broadcast, because it will not, I guarantee you, it will not be on YouTube. Subscribe to Mentellect Patreon and join the Mesoamerican community.
Rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you.